everyone, and welcome to Leadership Legacies and Legends Unleashed, the podcast. We're all about finding those everyday heroes and heroes who impact the world. Some are here and some have gone that have impacted our lives personally. And so we're on a mission to make sure we give those with us an opportunity to share their mission, share their vision. And of course, sometimes and tell those stories, y'all, we'll talk about some of the memories of great people we have known. So today, I am just super excited as your host, Mary Haslet Fernandez, to share with you a guest who shares a vision and a passion for veterans, as I do, and many of my other guests. So we are going to dive right in. Our guest today is Pastor Cordell Carter. And welcome to the show, Pastor. How are you?
God bless you. Doing fine. Welcome. Glad to be here.
Outstanding. Well, what I have found in just this wonderful, ironic way that I got to connect with you, we'll talk about that another time,
Mhm.
is that you're very passionate about working with veterans and you have created a program along with your supporters to make a difference in their lives. So, first, tell us a little bit about you. How did you get into ministry? Where did you come from? And what is it that makes you unique?
All right. I thank you. God bless you and all that are listening. I am Pastor Cordell Carter, and I've been pastoring in the city of Suffolk for the last 25 years. But I've been in ministry since 1972.
Mhm,
I'm dating myself now, but I am originally from Portsmouth, Virginia,
mhm,
and grew up, born and raised right here. And the Lord has blessed us to be able to, of course, make this and keep this our home. And I do have a passion, as she mentioned, about the homeless veterans program. Of course, we've been preaching for, ooh, I don't know how long I've been preaching. Seemed like I've been preaching all my adult life.
uh-huh,
I'm married. Been married for 53 years to the same wife.
mhm,
Four children, all got grown and gone and on their own. So
mhm,
I'm grateful for that. The Lord has truly blessed them to do, really good things in the community. We've always been community minded ever since we've started the ministry. We've always done outreach programs. That is, whether it be feeding the homeless or clothes or whatever other things that connect them to the resources that they're needing. So that has always been my passion. But here of late, I'm trying to, specialize what it is that we do to
mhm,
get our brand for the church. And we've been doing that for, oh my God, at least the last 10 years
mhm,
with donations in kind. And it's just here recently, we were able to secure some funding to help us to better serve that community of veterans. I am a veteran, a 30-year veteran of the Army.
mhm,
And I'm a former drill sergeant.
mhm.
And that gave me a little special passion for those veterans that's out there as well. And because being a veteran, you can understand some of the needs and the things that need to be taken care of. And I've come to find out, Ms. Fernandez, that a lot of them had fallen through the crack. And I don't know if it be mental disorders or
Mhm,
PTSD or whatever it is, but
mhm,
that is the community that I'm really focusing on to get those guys reconnected back to their resources because they have resources. And I
mhm,
think that that really struck me to my heart was when I would see people, not that I'm insensitive to the other persons, but when I see people with signs on the side of the road and says homeless veteran, that is what inspired me. I said, that shouldn't be. Because if I've served my country and served it well and honorably discharged, there should be some resources in place so that would take care of me because we sacrificed much for the country. And it's just a shame that we're not able to take advantage of the resources that should be available to us. So that has been my passion to get those guys reconnected. And the Lord bless us finally to be able to do that. We've been using donations in kind from our church to kind of get some things going and rolling in that direction. But we've never actually provided a length of stay that would beyond one night. I would put some of them up in hotels for maybe one night or
mhm,
2 nights and try to get them off the street. But then, the Lord bless. I said, well, we're going to try to see if we can do better than just a 1 or 2 night because they're right back in the same position that they were previous to coming in contact with us. So it has been my passion to seek out programs or means by which I can better serve that population. And I put that out in the atmosphere, as they say, and
mhm,
begin to talk to God about it. And God bless that we were able to secure a building in Suffolk at 132 Bank Street that has a parsonage. It used to be an old Jewish synagogue that we converted those rooms, those rooms and made them individual living areas. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and for whatever reason, we were going to do it initially, maybe for those that are formerly incarcerated, but then my passion for the veterans kind of kicked in, and I kind of moved in that direction more so to house those persons. And I can say of a truth that those that we've been able to serve since the program has been really off the ground like I wanted it to since November, we're better than 1,000. Can I say that? Everyone that we've been able to contact and was able to be a part of the program have moved on to bigger and better areas of success in moving their lives forward. We've been able to reconnect them, get their paperwork, the DD 214s, and help them pay their fines because, yeah, they need to get that in place and help them reconnect with those persons that in need of services, whether it be mental health services. And we do have counselors on board, part of our board for the High Ground Economic Development Association, that are able to assist them and, connect the dots, so to speak, to the resources that they need. So that has been truly a blessing. And I've just seen the improvement in their attitudes as
Mm-hmm.
they come, and we've been able to provide a safe place, a clean place, an affordable place, because you can't beat it's free. You can't beat free. So they've been able to relax and get in a better environment and a better frame of mind. And
Yeah.
just to see the joy on their faces of those persons that we're able to assist, it's, oh my God. And I cry quick, and I tear up real quick.
Oh my God.
And because that's where my heart really went out for him. And I said, look at God. God made the way for him. So pretty much that's what we've been able to do these last few months, for sure. And we're looking to further expand the program is what I'm looking forward to do. Right. Presently, we have a few rooms that's available. And we try to get them through vetted through the VA and
Amen.
agencies, people that are connected, veteran
Mm-hmm.
connected. And we reach out to those people that say, well, do you have anybody that could take advantage of this program? And it's a temporary shelter, a temporary emergency shelter program
Mm-hmm.
from 1 to 30 days. And if it's extenuating circumstances exist, then we're able to push it out to 60 days, which gives them a little time to get themselves together and, kind of refocus and get themselves to a point. So this is what you need to do. This is where we're pointing you in this direction. We've got contacts and we can connect.
Amen.
So
Amen.
that's pretty much what we're doing, and I'm looking forward to expand that program even larger.
Information is what the world needs. If they just knew who to point people in the direction of, who could actually make a difference and give them a step up, a
Yes,
helping hand. And when you have a heart to serve and a passion that goes as evident as what you and your ministry are doing, God connects the dots.
yes, he does.
Because the story of how I met you is God connecting the dots. I'm
Yeah.
going to share your share screen and go to the site of your ministry so
Okay.
that everyone will understand what you do and how to reach you. So
Okay.
this is your website. Tell us about the house.
Now, the housing program, which we initially started, we call it transitional housing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and at this particular point, we was temporary emergency shelter. But our goal, the ultimate goal, is to move them from that temporary setup into a more permanent housing setup. And God has blessed us here recently to be able to connect with some persons that will be able to help them get their, what do they call it, the VASH vouchers, I think is the proper name for it,
Okay.
to help them get some housing for those persons that qualify for this particular program. And that has been a success here of late. So that is one of the goals for the housing program, to get them to a more stable environment so that they can, get reiterate back into society and reconnect with their families. Because come to find out, a lot of them, because they had nowhere to stay, they had children and had other persons or significant others that really couldn't get with them because they're out on the street. So, but when we're able to provide that temporary housing and show them how they can get a more permanent housing, and that has been a true blessing. So that's what we're doing, trying to help with the resources to connect them back so that they can get back on track with their lives. Uh,
That's beautiful. May I
mhm.
say that your point you made about uh, family and others in that household cannot really relate or understand or feel safe because they know this person needs a lot of help that
Yes.
includes mental as well as emotional. And
Hmm.
so there's a lot more in jeopardy as to I have children here. They
Yeah.
don't know, they don't understand. And so we can't take them in. And then, of course, other situations that make it so that there may be family breakdowns in the
Hmm.
relationship. Job training. Tell us about that.
Job training. We've been referred through the workforce development program. We are connected with the Suffolk Workforce Development. I don't want to call any particular names because you got different persons that
Yes,
actually
that's true. Thank you.
send us persons that are looking for jobs. And if they're looking for jobs, we find out what type of skills that they had. And then we've got persons that are veteran friendly, I guess is the term they use. When you find out that they are veterans, they're more willing to hire them
Hmm.
depending on their personal skills. And just in particular, I had one gentleman, and it's so ironic that I needed some IT help or at the church to help me with some of these new technologies and systems.
Yes.
And Lord bless us with one particular vet, that was his specialty in the military. And
Hmm.
God knows if that brother didn't bless us with all of our hookups, with our internet, with our Wi-Fi, and some other things that we were trying to connect to. I was like, boy, where in the world you been? We needed you around here. But it was a blessing, and he has and has moved on and has gotten a job. I won't call it employed, but because we found out he had those types of skills, I say, man, you need to be working for some of these companies out here that's doing looking for help that you have to offer, and you've been doing this for years. And he's working now. Uh,
Amen.
I say, look at God. God blessed him. So we were able to connect with the job training. We found out what their skills were, what they did in the military, and a lot of those skills can be translated into the secular world. And we try to connect them with those.
That's
Uh,
wonderful.
so yeah,
Wonderful.
that's job training. Yes.
And one of the key points you mentioned also in a prior conversation was that you do not mix the housing. It's either all one of this, one of that. Please
Yeah.
just hit on that a little bit.
Yes, I had decided that it was in the best interest of the program and the furtherance of the program to not to mix the gender population. If I've got men in the house and we've had up to four at
Hmm.
one time, that's all men. I try not to bring females in the picture while we got all men there because there's a privacy, and
Issues.
confidentiality that we need to protect as well. So, and safety as well.
Yeah,
So
people dynamics.
yes,
Hmm.
but people down there, we got to make sure we take care of that. And on
Amen.
the other hand, I have had females that were there, and that if that's who's there in the house, that's who the other residents will be. Females,
Wonderful.
females, and males with males.
Wonderful, wonderful. I specialize in working with Christian female professionals and executives because that is my gifting.
Mhm.
And I love, my husband, my son, and all the men in my life, but that's not my expertise. So I thank God that I can lean on my husband
Yes.
to guide that way. And finally, go over to the mental health services for me.
Now, the mental health services, this is a very key component of what it is that we have to offer. Once we're able to get the information from the VA and see what the needs are for that particular veterans, a lot of them need some mental health assistance. And we do have mental health clinicians and persons that have been trained and counselors that will talk with them one-on-one, and it's all in confidentiality. They're there at the house. I call it the house. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a little name I use. It's metanoia house, which is meaning house of change.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to come to that environment and be in that particular environment. They can be very transparent about some of the issues that they're facing. And some of them, have been, in situations where they really had thoughts of suicide. So we have persons on board of our board right now that specialize in, those types of services, suicide prevention and PTSD. So it's a great help for those persons to get, the resources in. It's almost like their home, and they're talking to the counselors as they come in and explain to them where they are, how they're feeling. We have a gauge by which we go by, how are you feeling today? What are your thoughts? And they just go down the list, and once they find out and get that information, they're able to better assist them to get them back on track.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I
Hmm.
know when we have a heart to serve, you want so badly to make a difference
Hmm.
that sometimes there are boundaries you cannot cross. And
Yes.
I just wanted to share because our audience may have experience that hunger to help when they
Hmm.
know that there are so many other factors, safety issues and things of that nature, and things that can be out of control without the individual's, um, I guess, consciousness of it because of mental health needs. We
Hmm.
personally wanted to, it's almost like the legacy of my dad, wanted to make sure we made a difference in a homeless vet, but
Hmm.
they were battling alcoholism as well as homelessness,
Hmm.
and and they were making strides, but they kept falling back. And so
Hmm.
we did everything we could. We took them in 3 times, but we
Hmm.
knew that they needed greater help than we could provide. And
Yeah.
so my heart goes out to those who want to make a difference. And if they cannot do that, they could always contribute to your ministry.
Yes. And
They
just
could
as you,
always contribute to things like your ministry. So they need to know, how do people reach you and how do people contribute that don't know you from another city, but they hear this and they want to just jump in and help out.
okay. Our ministry, our name for this particular agency is the Higher Ground Economic Development Association. We are a 501c3 approved nonprofit organization. We do take in-kind donations, and you can go to our website, which is www.higherground economic developments with an S on it
With the
.com.
S, uh-huh.
Because I found out there was another high ground economic development without the S. So we had to get our website unique and put an S on it to make the difference. But you can go to that particular website and you
Mm-hmm.
can see where there's opportunities to give and to donate from that particular site. Or you can call our telephone number 757-692-8580. You can call and connect with myself. And I have a program director that helps us with our donations, and we can keep track of. And of course, we give you credit for whatever donations you're able to make,
Mm-hmm.
charitable contributions. We do recognize that, and we would appreciate any. We're not turning down anything
All
as far
right.
as monies are concerned. We do have feeding opportunities as well. We have been connected with the food bank so that we are able to feed the veterans at the house. They don't even have to go out to get food because we've got a pantry right there. That's the Southeastern Food Bank. We connect with those persons, and some of the local churches also, we get food donations from them as well.
All
So
right.
yeah, so we'll take the food donations, we'll take the money in particular, help fund the program, because like I said, we don't charge them. We don't charge the vets at all. And that has how we have operated for these last, ooh, I know the last 5 years, just donations in kind. So I'm
Amen.
willing, please send us some money.
All right. I know what you mean. When you're working on a dream and a passion,
Yes,
that funding is always the bottom line need. Well, I tell you,
yes.
as we get ready to wrap up right now, I am so excited to have met you
Hmm.
and to have
Same here.
found you. And it was all over pasta, y'all. It was all because of pasta.
And I love pasta too. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And so we're going to get ready to wrap up. This has been a pleasure to find another public servant, just average citizen who wants to make a difference in the world. And I am so thankful that I was talking in a local store about pasta, and the conversation led to vets. The next thing you know, I was connected to Pastor Cordell.
Yes.
This has been your host, Mary Hasler Fernandez of Leadership Legacies and Legends Unleashed. Who do you know who could use the services right here in this Hampton Roads area? Who would you like to refer, or would you like to volunteer, or would you like to donate? They are available for help because the need is massive,
Yes.
but the
Yes.
laborers are few. So we're asking you
Yeah.
to reach out to Pastor Cordell and the Higher Ground Economic Developments with
That's
an
it.
S .com.
.com.
Look them up because I found them on the web. And so we're going to wrap it up. You'll find us over on all your favorite listening sites. We're going to put this on Google as well. And we're going to do our best to support the pastor and his mission and his organization. So I ask you to just leave your comments under the podcast, and some of his contact information will also be under the podcast. And you'll be able to reach out and see what they're doing next. So I thank you. And I know that, excuse me, excuse me.
Bless your
Suffolk,
heart.
thank you. Suffolk is not far. So anyone in the Hampton Roads area or nationwide who want to reach out to the pastor, we'll make sure you get his information at the bottom. We want to thank you, and we're going to be signing off. This is your host, Mary Hazel Hernandez, and our awesome guest, Pastor Cordell Carter from Suffolk,
Bless
Virginia,
God.
with
Yes.
the Higher Ground Economic Development with an S.com ministry helping homeless vets. So we're signing off, and we just say thank you and God bless everyone. And we're going to say